Thank you so much, Gagan, for joining. We're happy to have you in this webinar.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in on time. We're just waiting for a couple of minutes more so that more people can join in, and we'll start the webinar shortly. Thank you so much for joining in on time. Also, we can see that the participants are continuously, like, the number is rising. And if we can also, like, all of you can use the chat box, all of you can use the Q&A section as well. And please help us understand that are you a teacher, are you a student, are you parent, or from which part of the country you have joined in the webinar, so that we can also have a better understanding about the audience, or you have any doubt, any confusion in the session related to any career or related to liberal education as well, please make sure that you are using the chat box or the Q&A section. We are here to answer all the questions, right? And with this, we can start with the webinar as well. Good evening, everyone. My name is Tanishtha, and I am a career coach at Mindler. And today I'll be moderating this entire session for you. We have our guest from Krea University as well, and we have our host for the day as well with us. And without taking any further minute extra, I would like to introduce the speaker for today as well. So basically, students, today we have Arpit Solanki sir, who is the Director of Admission and Outreach at Krea University. Sir is a distinguished leader in education innovation, holds a degree in software engineering from Rajasthan Technical University. His initial foray into the education sector sparked a passion for teaching, leading him to become a renowned mathematics faculty member for IIT JEE entrance exam and a guide for civil services aspirant in quantitative aptitude. He has led the admission and outreach team of various renowned universities like OP Jindal Global University. Currently, as a director of admission and outreach at Krea University, Sir is dedicated to advancing Krea's unique pedagogy approach, which emphasize interwoven learning and interdisciplinarity across humanities, social sciences, literature, arts, business, management, and sciences. Thank you so much, sir, for joining in today. And we also have a student who is already studying in Krea University as of now, who is Vrahuti, and she's currently in her second year and she's pursuing double major in literature and economics. She has completed her 12th from Kendriya Vidyalaya Joka, and she belongs to Kolkata. Thank you so much for joining the session. And today, basically, this session will entirely revolve around liberal education. So before starting the webinar, we would also like all of you to have a better understanding about liberal education. And being a career counselor, we have seen that we have counseled so many students, we have interacted with so many parents as well, and one thing that we have seen is many a times people are not very much aware about what liberal education is and how liberal education can empower you a lot in future aspects as well. So definitely by today's session, you will have that understanding. And when it comes to liberal education, liberal education degrees, basically, this allows the student to explore various disciplines, combining subjects like you can combine humanities, sciences, arts, social sciences into a personalized curriculum, right? And this program also offers flexibility in choosing major and minors. Like we already have a current student who has a majors in literature and a minors in economics, so definitely we'll have a better understanding about how exactly this major and minor thing works. And to host this entire session, we have Ishti ma'am with us, who's also a career coach at Mindler. So I'll also take a minute to introduce our host for today. So Ishti ma'am is a career coach at Mindler, and she has a keen interest in psychology and has done her bachelor's and master's degree in psychology from University of Delhi. She advocates the importance of mental health. She is an avid reader as well, and she wants to make a difference in field of education by empowering students, leading her to become a career coach. Thank you so much, Ishti ma'am, for hosting this session. And over to you. Just one thing that I want all of the participants to remember is that we have the Q&A section, we have the chat box as well open for all of you. Beat any doubt, beat any question that you have, we are here to answer all of these questions. Thank you so much, and over to you, Ishti ma'am.
Thank you so much, Tanishta, for the wonderful introduction. So, good evening, students, parents, teachers, career coaches. So, I am very excited to be here and hope you're excited the same. And because we want to talk about liberal education, specifically from the focus of understanding Krea University better, so we also have prepared a list of questions. So hopefully, these are the questions that all of you want to know and want to understand. So, we'll start. So Mr. Arpit, my first question is for you. Can you give us an understanding and throw some light on the undergraduate programs offered at Krea University?
So, Krea offers two programs for the students aspiring for the undergrad programs. The first is, and we can say our flagship program, which is a BA and BSc honors programs with the 14 major options, and obviously all the majors can be taken as minor also. If you have taken one as a major, out of other 13, you can take any minor, and also there are three more minor options you have. Apart from that, there is another program, integrated MBA, which is a BBA plus MBA program, which is for the undergrad students. So these are the two undergrad programs we have.
Okay, sounds very interesting. Being able to study 14 majors and having to get the opportunity to choose from them. So, it sounds interesting for me. Like, I want to go back to the university again to study. So, sir, can you also throw some light on understanding what kind of majors and minors does the university offer?
Okay. So let me take you through the journey from the first year instead of initially talking to the majors and minors. See, when you come to Krea, in the first year, you don't have to opt for a major or minor even while taking the admission. You don't have to say that, okay, I'm coming for only psychology or I'm coming for economics or biology or physics or chemistry, nothing. Okay, you might have a preset mind that, okay, I want to do this, but there may be the students who don't know what to do, and they explore this towards their whole 1 year at Krea. Even there may be a student who come to campus thinking that I'll do economics, but then identify that, okay, no, I am not good for economics and I can be good for the literature, and that's how they can choose. And now, if we talk about what major and minor comes in. So at the start of second year, you declare your majors and minors. So the majors are you have the options like psychology, economics, computer science, physics, chemistry, mathematics, literature and art, sociology and anthropology. So there are, as all of these, there are environmental studies. So total 14 majors, as I said.
Okay, sounds very interesting. Being able to combine sciences with social sciences and then with our any commerce or humanities subjects. So definitely quite flexibility is something that university is offering to the students. Good. So now my next question is for you, Varuti. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correct.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm okay. So Varuti, can you also throw some light or help us understand that what aspects of the university's curriculums and teaching methods did they stand out for you? And how the process of the learning, the curriculum, the structure, they influenced or you impacted your learning experience. So we'd be glad if you could share us.
First thing I would like to clarify that I'm doing a double major, so economics and literature are both my majors, which is I think one of the best thing that you can do at Krea. The fact that I can choose two subjects, which to anybody who knows these subjects are not related at all. One is from social sciences and others is literature, and they are not, neither of them are science, but they are worlds apart. The fact that I can do both of them together and get a degree in both of them with equal weightage is one of the most important things that drag me to Korea. And about why this works for me is basically that we have a continuous assessment system, which is that instead of having midterm exam or end term exam, which we still do for some courses, we have a continuous assessment in the sense that we have presentations, we have assignments, we have essays. Even in economics, we have things called interwoven assignments wherein we will be asked to like look at interviews and write our views on it. We are very in touch with what the world is currently doing with economics. Similarly, with literature, we just don't read canon like is mostly common for literature courses in most universities. We try to choose courses which will teach us how to read any canon. For example, instead of having one Shakespeare course, we'll have a course called the canon, which allows us to explore how one author can be read. So that way, instead of just focusing on one author, we can read any author once we are done with the degree. This is not something that usually happens in universities. You're taught a certain things as a very strict syllabus, but here we're allowed to choose our courses. We're allowed to also tell faculty if there's a course you want to happen, you can discuss with them and be like, Professor, I'd really like for this to be your course. And you can ask them for that. There's this level of interaction because it is a pretty small university in the sense that the ratio between faculty and students is very dealable. So you have a lot of personal contact. And this really sets the stage for a lot of academic as well as non academic conversations. And I think this is something that really draws me to this university.
Okay, so definitely the curriculum seems very flexible, right? Being able to have your own subjects, choosing from it, and rather than studying in a very traditional way, you rather study a structure, which is very implementable and applicable, and of course, the interdisciplinary. I myself would have never thought that eco and literature is something that can be studied together, right? So, continuing to what Bharati said, Mr. Arpit, my next question is for you. That can you also then help us shed some light on understanding that are there any particular courses or any particular foundation courses that are compulsory for the students to take so that their journey becomes more easier? Because as you said, they declare their majors in the second year or in the third year, so forth. So, can you shed some light?
So in the first year, there are some mandatory courses, and these are common for all. And as I said, that when you come to the campus, you don't declare any major. So all these courses, everyone does. So whether you're coming for physics or you're coming for literature, you have to go through the courses in scientific reasoning and logical reasoning and communication skills, something in the computer science to even learn the programming languages, to even learn the computer skills, not only programming, but also the skills like working on the Excel and such kind of tools, data analysis tools. You also study multiple data analysis tools in your first year, which are like it doesn't matter what you're going to study further. These are the skills which any student, whether it's economics or physics, they must possess. And this is also a feedback you will receive from multiple HRs of multinational companies that it's very tough working with Gen Z, because the Gen Z they are very tech friendly. They have a very easy approach about everything, so they don't know the basics. Okay, so these kind of things when we hear from the industry, we thought that okay, no, uh, at least these are the basic skills everyone must possess, and that's how the first year is structured like this. Uh, After that, when you take your majors, then obviously you will be taking the some courses from that only.
Okay, so definitely the foundation courses seem very interesting. And in today's world, when we all know where tech is very important, having these basic understanding of these tech skills has become very, very important. So definitely the foundation courses sets a common ground for every student, and then they can grow and thrive from there. Okay. So moving on, my next question is for you, Bharati. Can you also then help us understand Krea as a liberal education university will offer a lot of interdisciplinary opportunities, not only in terms of your academia, but also in terms of student organizations, clubs, and societies, right? So can you please help us understand how these interdisciplinary opportunities help you prepare for your career, or is helping you prepare for your career readiness and being able to explore your career interest?
I feel like the most important thing for careers, like usually when people apply for companies, one of the first things they look for is positions of responsibility, right? And this is a thing that is possible because we have so many clubs that are not restricted in their entry. The only entry restriction we have is that you have to attend the sessions the club holds, which I think is very important because even if I am an economics major, if I'm interested in physics, I can go join a physics club. We have clubs like, for example, the most important one, this is not a club, but the student organization is the student government. It is completely elected by the student body. There are elections, there is an election commission, which is also by the students. This is the foremost body which acts as like communication between the administration and the student body. And as clubs and societies, we have one for each major approximately, and then we have dance, we have music, we have theater, which is pretty active. And even dance, there is like an Indian wing, there's a North Indian wing. We have productions every trimester. We run on a trimester system. So each club tries to ensure that they have at least one production every trimester so that for a way, it's a way for them to get more students in order to showcase everything they've learned. Because each club tries to do sessions where they teach as well as try to learn together. It's not just about putting things up, but it's also very welcoming to people who have just started something. For example, if you want to join an art club and have never like forayed into art before, you can just join, start attending the sessions, and by the end of the trimester, you will have something concrete to show for your hard work, right? That is very important, I feel like, because a lot of the time, if we just focus on the production aspect, it's also club is something that you're doing for fun. It's not just academic. And it is very important to have that balance. And also the fact that you mentioned interdisciplinarity and how it helps in career, right? We have this thing, I think it's a pretty new thing. It's called the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, which is like really blossoming, and they hold like things like Shark Tank, or basically where you pitch and like you get information or feedback from faculty on how you're doing. It's basically very much, we have a finance club also which looks into trading and everything like that. And Econ Society does a lot of debates again. Recently, it's funny that you talk about the topic of the seminar is liberal education, because that was one of the things that was debated, liberal degrees versus professional degrees. So we're very active. We look at what is happening in the world around us. Recently, we also look at, news. It's not that we're isolated from everything. We try to stay on top of things and try to figure out topically what the world needs currently and work towards that.
Okay. So I really like the point that you highlighted that clubs are for development, but at the same time, they're for fun. So this is, usually we don't see that much in universities that you can join a club when you don't know about it. They rather want to understand, see what skills you have already built on. But this opportunity makes it much more merrier for students who want to learn something new. And of course, keeping up with what's happening in the world will make them more ready for the careers and any opportunity that they want to get into. So moving on to that and adding on to that, Mr. Arpit, I would like to get your views on how do you think Krea as a university, because of the interdisciplinarity that Viruti also mentioned, it helps in the holistic development of students. Like how does it prepare them for that?
So I think the answer of this is almost already given by Vyaruti in the previous question. She has clearly explained how the other activities, other clubs and societies are running in the campus, and how the students are getting benefited of that. Also, if you see the model of the liberal education, which is followed by Kriya, uh, where and another again, the example is in front of us, like Vyaruti just stated that she's doing double majors of economics and literature. Maybe she wants to she wants to do something in economics domain, but literature may be her passion. Okay, and that's how Kriya is facilitating her to uh, just follow her passion with what career she wants to pursue. Apart from that, I'll just take an example of how students are getting involved in each activity of the campus. Uh, uh, let's talk about the student government, and I think Vyaruti can speak more about it. Where we have a student constitution, the students are involved in making in that, so they understand how these processes are done. We have a student government. The students are members of the student government. They function like a small government, but they understand how that government functions work, how bureaucracy even works. Okay, they have right to question the system in the university, just like we have right to question our governments. Okay, so they also have the right to question the professor, the right to question to me or to vice chancellor. Even they even have their leaders also who will lead them to do these things. Okay, like they have a minister of learning and development, they have a minister of finance. Uh, So it's not about just giving them some rights, or we're doing this just so that they feel privileged, but it's the learning. It's and we actually we can call this the experiential learning. It's not like experiential learning is okay, you're doing some project and you learn something. Okay, this is the whole 4 years life you spend at campus, and you are doing something more than projects only. It's not only assignments, not only projects. It's your whole 4 year life which you're learning something there. And I think Vyaruti can speak more about what apart from academics, what apart from these clubs and societies also, what makes you learn there in the campus.
Before that, I'd just like to give a little bit more information about the student government. Fun fact though, the student constitution was also very much written with students, and currently we are in the process of amending it. So there is an ad hoc committee that has been made which looks into each amendment. Even if it is something as changing a simple wording, there is a whole process in place, and they need a certain quorum to pass that amendment. And the student government regularly holds town halls with the whole student body to discuss any updates that are there. We majorly have chairs of the government, and then we have different departments, which is the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Learning, Campus and Culture, and we have information coordinators, which act as like a check of the student government. Like any emails that need to be sent usually will be shared through the IC, and the IC is basically, I think it forms functions like the judiciary of the country. It's like to ensure there is transparency between all the parties involved. And to go back to Arpit sir's second question, which was like what other opportunities we have here, we have a lot of work study opportunities, which I think are very helpful. For example, I remember in my first trimester of my second year, which was last trimester, I got the opportunity to tutor for a course, peer tutoring. So basically, we have this first year course called Written and Oral Communication, which introduces students to academic writing. It is a course you take in either the first or the second trimester once you enter the university. And this is supposed to set the groundwork for all your courses, because we are a university that writes a lot of essays, because the whole point is you can write as many exams as you want, but if you can't use evidence to back up what you're saying, it doesn't work in the real world, right? And there's a lot of work that goes into this. And as students, I came from a CBSE background. I didn't really know how to write essays. We are given written points, right? So I learned through that course. And as second years, third years, or whatever, you are given the opportunity to come back and work with the Center for Writing and Pedagogy as peer tutors for that course. And it is a position that gives you both something to put on your CV and also to give back, because I really enjoyed that course. I really enjoyed working with my professor in that course. So I was able to go back and help students. And it's very structured in the sense that there are set hours, there is training that you undergo. And at the end of it, you also receive both the happiness of helping people and also something to be like, I have experience in this. I'm not just completely new. I know how to work with people in a professional setting.
Okay, thank you so much, Verity, for highlighting that. Definitely, the twin government sounds very, very interesting. It's like a replica, a mini government that you already have within your campus. And with the political, scenarios, it's very important for people to also be very aware of how does the constitution or government actually runs. So it makes quite a lot of sense. And the fact that you highlighted, a lot of people coming from different boards, different backgrounds, like CBSE, they might worry that I might not learn, I might not know how to write essays, how to back my support. But it is a process which is taught to them. So definitely there's a lot more focus on experiential learning, which is again valued by employers, and profile development goes hand in hand, which is again a very important part of how you will approach your future employers. So it sounds, again, very interesting, very thrilling. Okay. So again, directing my question again back to you, Varuti. So see, you also yourself said that you're engaging in a lot of activities like clubs, societies. So how do you manage your time and take out time for your studies and other activities? How do you plan and how do you manage that?
Um, Honestly, it's not that difficult, because we're not, as I said, because it's continuous assessment, our work is pretty balanced out, except when it comes to like end terms, because for me it's more difficult because I'm from two different disciplines, right? So the exams tend to clash a little bit, but that is something I'm doing voluntarily, so it shouldn't bother me. But it's spread out, and because a lot of our work is also in class quizzes, and they're pretty small quizzes. Like if we finish the chapter this week, there'll be a quiz on it next week. So it's not like a lot of syllabus to cover. And by the end terms, you've done everything at least once. So it's not like you're pulling all-nighters for 2 whole nights trying to like mug up the whole portion. You know something at least. And because the professors also hold daily office hours, you anytime you have a doubt, you can go approach them. And usually we have a 5 day work week. We have Mondays to Fridays classes, and Saturday, Sundays are off. And that's when usually we chill out, like people go to Chennai pretty often. We recently, my friends and I went to Chennai. We went to comedy show. So it's not that difficult, but you do have to stay on top of your work, so that because once it piles up, it's pretty hard to like go back to the beginning and get that momentum going. But if from the beginning you're like, if you spend at least like 1 hour a week just trying to be on top of your assignments, you wouldn't have to spend that 8 hours one day trying to finish your essay before 11:59.
Okay, that's a very, simple point, but a very important point that we forget. Just, doing my work, not procrastinating, being on top of it makes things much more easier for me to balance. So definitely, this is a point that the students here and of course the parents, teachers, everyone can make a note of. Okay. So moving to you, Mr. Arpit, can you then also help us understand and throw some light on that nowadays we saw so many liberal education universities, booming up, they're blooming. So how does Krea differs from their program? What unique does Krea has to offer in terms of its liberal education? How does it stand out?
Okay, so I'll answer it in a different way. Uh, to all of you, like if you just think, go back to your ancient times, ancient Indian education, and just think that just maybe before 1800s, did you have any system like taking science PCM, or taking commerce or humanities or something? No, you didn't have. Okay, your universities like Takshila, Nalanda, Vikramshila, and all these universities had this system which we call it a liberal education system today, and which is being practiced by the universities like Harvard or Oxford or Cambridge, or whatever the names you say in that Ivy League. Now, see, the system was clearly that you are not confined. You are not asked to study. Okay, I am telling you that you are from PCM. You have to do this BSc in physics, and these will be your courses. No. So how it happens with us in our model is, as I said, when you come in the first year, you don't have to decide that okay, I'm coming for this a mandate. Even we don't have that kind of eligibility criteria that okay, you belongs to a science, PCM is your background, then only you can do BSc in physics or chemistry or mathematics. No, it's not, nothing like it. If you belong to humanities background in your 11th and 12th class, but you can do mathematics, okay, you're most welcome. And even a person coming from the PCM background, because we have seen this a trend from last 3 4 years that many students coming from PCM backgrounds are opting for economics. Okay, they might not have even studied economics, any basics of economics in their first year, but yes, they can do it if they have that ability to do. Like we have seen Viharuti, she's managing economics and literature and arts. So both are very different things, but as she mentioned that it is her choice, and she is managing it. So it's completely up to student. Now during this first year, you are exposed to each major option. There are town halls, open houses, which we can say, where the professors are talking to the students about, okay, there is one session which is happening about physics and its opportunities. There may be another about environmental sciences and its opportunities. You attend all. You just explore that what can be the options and what I'm going to study. Like okay, fine, I will do the physics, but do I know what I need to study, and what will be the career opportunities, and what kind of work I'll be going to do. So during this whole year, I can talk to my seniors, I can do this, I can talk to my peers, I can attend these kind of sessions, and then I choose one major. Now when you get a major, it's not like fine, it's just physics, or it's just economics. Now out in that major option, again you have options of selecting your courses. So you have a bouquet of courses, and you don't have to complete all, because you just need to complete a number of credits to earn the degree. Like 120 credits are required to complete a undergrad degree, and now to complete a major you need 80 credits, and you complete a minor you need 32 credits. So accordingly, based on the credits, you choose your courses. Now, maybe there is a student from economics who wants to go toward statistical side. There may be another student who wants to go towards the public policy side of economics. There may be another student who wants to combine economics with political science because they may want to work with political organizations. Okay, so accordingly they can choose their subjects. Okay, so you have liberty to choose your major, the field where the direction you will go for. Again, in that direction, what other smaller things you are going to do, those again you have the freedom to choose, and that's why this is called a liberal model. Okay, and you let's say uh, you are in your fourth trimester and you have taken economics. You said that okay, I'm going to do economics as my major, but after ending at the end of the fourth trimester, you feel that no, I can't do that. So we're not saying no, but you taken. You again can change. It's just that you have earned some credit from economics that can be your elective, and then you can again change your major and can earn more credits to during your next time, whatever is left in your campus. But yes, you can't do it after 2 years because you don't have much time to earn your 80 credits. But at least till the second end of the second year, you have this time, you flexibility to change your major also. So all these kind of flexible options you have, and that's the way I can say that Krea is working very differently from any other universities in India.
Okay, so here you highlighted two very, very important points. One was a lot of us feel that, liberal education is a very westernized concept. But we forget that in India, way before a
No, no,
lot
no,
of
no.
centuries.
Western
No,
took
no.
it from India,
Yes.
and we like some people even tell me that okay, we are copying what Harvard and Oxford are doing. No, they copied us a long back, and we are taking it back. That's it.
Yes, because Takshila and Nalanda, they were already quite good, representatives. They were quite good examples of liberal education already in our country. And the flexibility, the university truly it's liberal in its sense. So the students don't only get the liberal facilities at the majors level, but within the courses. So it highlights for students also, that economics is not only studying about demand and supply or studying about market. It can also be about public policy. So I'm pretty sure a lot of the students here will get very excited about, hearing this much flexibility in the majors. And if some of them might be worried that if you pick a major, we have to stick with it. Now they also know that for some years, for some while, there's a flexibility to change majors also. So definitely a very green signal, a green light for them. Okay, thank you so much. Now coming to Viriti again. Can you also, share or, help us understand what are some of the most memorable experiences or projects that you might have taken at Krea University? Can you, share with us and help us understand?
Yeah, as I said, one of the most memorable things for me was the peer tutoring that I did last trimester because I really enjoyed the course, and for me to be able to contribute back to it was really important to me. And also, as Sir was mentioning, someone with a PCM background who's coming into economics, I am one of them. I have never done economics. The only time I did economics was 10th grade Palampur from CBSE. That's all I know. That's all I knew about economics before I came in here. And as a PCM student, as it ends up happening most of the times, you end up disliking math by the end of 12th grade. And I also took a gap year. So over that time, I lost touch with a lot of the math, but there is this course, core and skill course, which everybody in this university has to be doing, which is called mathematical reasoning. That I feel like was one of the best courses I have ever done, and I probably will ever do, even if I continue my higher education, because it single-handedly made me interested in mathematics to the point that I was considering doing math as a major. Like the way it was taught to me, the professor is a combinatorics professor, so we had like a pretty focus on the theory of mathematics, or rather pure math than just applied math. That was very, very extremely enjoyable for me, and I am emphasizing it a lot, but it's purely because it really did change my life. Like now, whenever there's a math talk, I try to go and I try to like talk to as many of my math friends. Sometimes I find myself doing math in my free time just solely because of that course. And I think that is an experience everybody should get to have, something that you probably didn't like before, that this university gave you an opportunity, a second chance at, and you discovered that, oh, you really, really like it. Another memorable thing, and it's also, this is not really academic at all. It's just that because we live near Chennai, I could go to quite a few comedy shows, which I'm a huge fan of comedy. So I go with my friends, and all of those trips are very memorable because we live pretty far from the city. So it's a 2 hour local train to Chennai, and then from there we travel. So we make like a whole plan out of it. We go in the morning, we have food, then we'll watch the comedy show, have dinner, come back. So it's almost like if you recorded a video, it could be a short film, and you would just see happy faces everywhere. And I live in Kolkata, but I never really took the local train because I didn't really go out much. I was pretty much an introvert. But I get to experience all of this, and with my friends, it's been really enjoyable here. Sometimes I complain because, as I said, I'm not on top of my things. So I do end up spending 8 days, 8 hours on an essay. But most of the times, I'm on top of my stuff, and I get to have this balance of, oh, I'm also enjoying my studies and at the same time able to do all these other things which I otherwise would not be able to do.
So, it makes sense that, of course, a lot of things you can do inside the university, but at the same time, we get a lot of exposure outside the university with the way the location is, with the way it's situated. And a very important point, again, you also highlighted, Viruti, a lot of people, me being myself, we get scared of mathematics as a subject. We are worried that, if any major, if any minor will have a very strong foundation of mathematics, so how will I handle that? How will I catch up? I might not have learned it well. I might not know it well. So the university themselves are supportive that ways, and they're helping you develop those skills which are required for you to perform well in a particular major. So continuing on to that, Mr. Arpit, can you also then shed on light that you also mentioned in the beginning that the university doesn't have a very strict criteria or a very rigid criteria that someone from a science background only can pursue BSc. So can you shed some light on that? That how does that work? Like what eligibilities are there for different courses? I know a lot of the students will be very curious to know.
So, see, when it is about welcoming these students to Krea, we don't want to differentiate a student based on the grades. Okay, so our basics are not like, okay, you are a 60% student and you are an 80% student. So obviously the 80%. So because how do you perform in your school life? How do you perform in your board exams? That may be different, and everyone may have a different kind of uh, life there. So, but obviously we have some criterias because we also do need to do some scrutiny. So, what we do is anyone can do this application. Okay, and we just need that your 12th grade is completed to pursue the undergrad program. Now, after that, you have to write our entrance test. Okay, and that entrance test is again not specific to any major or something. Like it's not related to physics or psychology or economics. It is general. It is more on quantitative ability. It's quant aptitude. It's logical reasoning. It's problem solving skills and writing. Okay, because there is an essay writing which is required for everyone. It doesn't matter what subject you're going to do. So there. We do the application scrutiny, and obviously after the test we do the scrutiny of the students based on their performance in the test. And the next stage is the crucial one, which is an interview with the professors. So at this stage of the interview, the professor have a conversation. We instead of saying it an interview, we would call it a conversation between the professor and a student, where a professor can identify that the student is suitable for the Krea ecosystem or not. And after all these three stages, we take a call that who is the student whom we want to do the offer.
So the admission process itself is very holistic. It's not only assessing my academics, how much I've scored in my 12th, but it also highlights what my other traits, what my other basic aptitude, basic interests are. So definitely, a very good opportunity for students who are not sometimes unsure, who feel that, they don't want to go for the traditional entrances, but rather they want to try and experiment something new. So again, directing the question back to you again, Mr. Arpit. So is there any specific qualities or any specific skills that the interviewers or that the university looks for in the students when they scrutinize the application and in the interview process?
See, at the application process also, there is a little scrutiny we do, because in the application we have a section called personal story, where we ask the student to introduce themselves, to write about themselves in most creative way, most honest way they can do. And our team goes through all the applications. They read this personal story, and this is the first stage when we check which are the students who can qualify for our second stage. After that, obviously the test, as I said, this is it's completely generic. In the interviews, the interviews are finding for those kind of the curious minds. And also when we're talking about the liberal arts, where we're talking about the students who are going to do they study the liberal sciences and that model, we need those students who want to do the experiments. Okay, who do not want to confine themselves to again one thing, who can think about interdisciplinarity, who can think about multidisciplinarity. Like I don't want a student just saying me that, okay, I want to do study biology. We would prefer a student who would say, I want to study bioinformatics, right? So So it's a little different thing. Okay. You're mixing biology with computer sciences. You're thinking something apart from those limitations, those boundaries which are created from last 200 years. Okay, so that's kind of qualities we are looking for, and then obviously some writing and the communication skills which are required to do any course and to excel in your career. That's also we look for.
Okay. And you highlighted a very, slight difference, but you will that, not biology, but I would rather have the student want to explore bioinformatics, biosciences, biophysics. They wanting to explore the interdisciplinary and the more, intern or more the new age careers that they're looking for. So the students should also come with a very open mindset. Okay. So again, directing to you, Priti, another question. Then can you also help us understand what was your journey of preparing for the application process, and what are some of the factors that you kept in mind while preparing for the interview, so that can help our future aspirants here?
One of the first things that I'd like to mention is that because I took a gap year, I was a little bit worried about how that would affect. So I tried to show not just that I would do fine in the university academically, but also that the way I looked at it was like why this university will work for me, and B, why I will work for this university, like both ways. When you spend 4 years in this university, it's just like it's a partnership that builds, and I wanted to show them that both of this is being fulfilled for me, therefore I'll be a good choice for the university. So instead, I wrote my personal story wherein I just talked about my interests and how I've done a lot of things in life, and how I'm also interested in looking at things laterally, which is one of the main points of interdisciplinarity. And after I uploaded my transcripts and everything, I also put in like a video of me playing guitar, a lot of my artworks. I've been painting all my life now, so I put in a lot of that. Since I'm a literature student, I also write, so I wrote in some excerpts and some poems, all of that. I have community service. I also have from like a while ago, but I also have like a certificate in C++. So I put in all of those so they'd have an idea that, oh, she's just not into her maths, physics, chemistry, but also she's done something to in things that are not just that, outside of academics, there are things that she's interested in. And after that, when I was selected for the aptitude thing, for me, it was very much like we were given like a sample question paper, which everybody is given. I looked at the questions and I realized it's basically just aptitude. The essay part I knew I'd be sorted in because I'm very comfortable writing essays. I was a little bit worried about the multiple choice questions, but it's just aptitude. If anybody has written like Olympiads, like, International English Olympiad or Math Olympiad, the first section you get on logical reasoning, it's that with basic math. So it's not something that you should be extremely worried about. If you can solve that, just try to time yourself, so you don't spend too long on a question. If you're having trouble, just move on. It's these simple things that work for basically any exam. Take your time with it, believe that you can do it, and most of the time you will be able to do it. The essay is online proctored, so you will have to like type it out. And for the essay, keep up with the current affairs. If you've written in your personal statement that you're interested in something, it's not that they'll ask you about that, because essay prompts are randomized. At least for me, that is the way it was. So you have to be able to talk about a variety of topics. So just keep reading the newspaper. And more than the newspaper, I'm not someone who reads the newspaper a lot. Just have a lot of conversations with people from different backgrounds, That gives you an idea also, and that lets you form an opinion. Basically, show them that you're not just regurgitating what you have read, but also that you are capable of forming your own thoughts. That is very important in today's world, like for more than original thinking is just to show that you are capable of thought processes, and I can track that through an essay. That, and after that, when I got the email that I was selected for an interview, I didn't really prepare for it. My mom is a professor, so she just told me that what they're going to do is they're going to have a conversation with you. Just be yourself, and if you're struggling with something, let them know. Like, take a minute, be like, can I just have a minute to think about this, to gather my thoughts? And usually, funnily enough, the MR professor that I had for math was the professor who was interviewing me, even though I didn't know that at the time. And the professor was very nice in the sense that if I didn't agree with him, I could be like, no, I don't really think that's the case. For me, this is how it works. And whenever I told him that, they were never pushing me to like follow with them. They were very encouraging in the sense that they wanted to be there talking to me, and that was very reassuring for me. So it wasn't hectic. I was just worried because I was a worried person, but it is not a reason for you to be worried. Just take your time, you will do well.
Thank you so much, Hariti, for highlighting that. And one point that I could feel was common in what you said and Mr. Arpit said was that students have to be original thinkers. They have to think on the spot. They have to bring their own creativity, their own mindset, their own opinions. They're not just here to follow any kind of traditions or any kind of set rules, right? So in its true sense, they're here to be liberal and to have the ability to choose. So coming back to you again, Mr. Arpit, can you then also help us understand how does the admission process happens in terms of cycles, their months, and is it like important for any in particular cycle to apply? So can you shed some light on that?
So we usually do the admissions in the 4 rounds. The first round of admissions is already over. We have already released the offers also. So usually we open the applications in the month of October, the first week of October, and the first round gets completed by mid of December with all these stages which I explained recently. So now the second round applications are on, and the second round applications will get over on 12th of January. And after that, again, you will have the entrance test, you will have the personal interviews. Although one more thing which I want to mention, that if you have given SAT and your SAT score is more than 1380, then you don't need to sit for our entrance test, and you directly qualify for your interview. I would suggest all these students to apply in the round 1 and round 2, because see, these early rounds also give you a peace of mind. If you're getting the offer, you're settled, fine, you got the offer wherever you want to go. And also there are some back calculations which we also have to whom we do the we give the seats. And what happens is, when you come in the round 3 and 4, most of the times you get the wet listed offer. So after that, in round 3 or round 4, your seat is only given to you if there is a cancellation from the round 1 or 2 candidates. So that's why doing it in the early is better.
Okay, so it's better that the earlier the students apply, of course, having a peace of mind and getting in applications and getting in results before they have even sit for their boards. So they're very reassured. They can, sit for their exams in peace. And can you also then, Mr. Arpit, highlight and help to students and the parents and the teachers here know what is the fee structure for the university like, and any scholarships that are offered to the students, how they can avail it?
So the fee structure is, if I calculate in round figure, which I would say all inclusive, including your residential, your food and all, because we are a residential university. You don't have an option to of day scholar, like the living outside and come every day. It's not, there is no option like this. It goes approximately 11.5 a year. Okay, and it's up to you. If you're studying for 3 years, you leave for with the plain degree of BA and BSc, or you can continue for 4 years, where you live with a honors degree. Uh, Now, there are two kinds of scholarships we offer. One is the merit scholarship, and another is a financial assistance. The merit scholarship is completely based on your merit, which is calculated on the basis of your performance in the entrance test and interview process. So accordingly, we create a merit list. And so like if I just mention of what happened in this round, we were supposed to release a merit scholarship, but the response we received this year, this first round, the number of expected merit holders is almost I think 4 or 5 times than we were expecting. So we had to hold those merit scholarships, and again we are doing another round of assessment for these merit holders to finally select that who are the candidates who should get that scholarship. Okay. Now the financial assistance is a little different. It's not based on your merit. It's completely based on the need. So if your parental income is less than 35 lakh rupees per annum, you can apply for financial assistance. And then our financial assistance team will contact you. You have to fill up, give multiple documents related to your finances to declare your income, and you to prove your income. After that, uh, there is an interview of your parents and you to check again what is your need and why you want to pursue this specific course, and we release these scholarships based on that. Now these financial assistance is mostly for those underprivileged kids who cannot pay this kind of fees to study in a good quality university.
So definitely the university is wired towards being able to support students anyhow, anyways, by scholarships and different opportunities so that they can pursue the liberal education and their dream course and major. Again, directing my question to you again, Mr. Arpit, then can you also help us understand that is the admission process or the fees different for the integrated MBA program
Yes,
than the
for
regular
integrated MBA program, it's little different. Although the process is same as you have to go to an online application, you have to give the entrance test. Now, if you have given the entrance test in our SIAs, you don't need to give it again. In the same score can be taken there also. But the qualification criteria are a little different. We have sectional cutoffs in that, which we do not have in the SIS program, which are the liberal programs. There, the interview process is a little different. There, we do the interview, online interviews are there. But after the selected candidates, which we are taking in the online interview, we may have another round of physical interviews for those candidates. So the selection criteria is even stricter there. So uh, just think that we'll be taking around 1,000 applications, and we will be taking just 60 students in that program. So the selections are little even difficult there. The process is also different. The study pedagogy is also different. You can't, if you're studying in SIS, you can't shift to IMBA, or if you're studying in IMBA, you can't shift back to there. They are parallel processes.
Okay, so thank you for highlighting, Mr. Arpit, that very important point, so that everyone is aware that the liberal education school and the integrated MBA school are two different schools, and the inter-transition between them is quite difficult and not a possibility. And of course, the admission process is comparatively very different. So
Okay, I'll
coming to
just, if you can hold on. So should you answer the questions we're getting in the Q&A or what?
So yeah, so we'll take these questions as well. So yeah.
Okay.
So coming to one of the questions that has been asked in the chat box. So coming to that, does university also offer any masters or any PhD programs like that?
So we see in the masters we just have an MBA program, but we do not offer the masters in the social sciences and other sciences program. And when do not we do also do not plan to. The reason I'll tell you is the change in the education policy. If you now see all these honors programs are 4 years program. Once the 4 years programs is done, the requirement of masters is less. Now masters are also not 2 years anymore. You can do masters in 1 year. If you have done a 4 years program at undergrad, you can do a 1 year masters. Even if you have done a undergrad program with honors and you have more than 75% aggregate percentage, you can directly go to PhD. You don't need a masters. Okay, that's what the new education policy says. Now, right now we do not offer any other master's program other than MBA, and maybe will not be. But we have PhD programs in both these schools in our IFMR GSB, which is the management programs, and we do have have PhD programs in all the social sciences programs and in the sciences programs also. For PhD, applications are again open. We have two kind of PhD programs there. One is a regular PhD where you stay with the university, you also work there, and you are paid a stipend. And also there is an executive PhD which are for the working people, which is on a very nominal fee.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Arpit, for highlighting the different masters and the PhD programs. I hope it answers the query of our audience. There is another Q&A. One of the students or one of the parent might have asked that if students are coming from a very different language and culture background, how does the university help them in overcoming any language barriers, and how does the faculty support them? So it's, both of you can answer, Mr. Arpit
I
and
think
Vinodhi.
Vyaruti should answer this.
Yes. Sure.
Okay, firstly, we do have a lot of diversity in the student body, so this is something that is taken into account and dealt with pretty seriously. For the language thing, the Center for Writing and Pedagogy, as I said, they have conversation partner programs, which a lot of my friends are a part of. So basically, there are these hours where you can talk to people, get more comfortable. If you're not comfortable with typing, they will teach you that also. So they also undergo training for that, and that is something you can do. For other subjects, for example, each club has this thing. For example, if you're not very comfortable with math, there is math tutoring. If you're not very comfortable with Excel, there is Excel tutoring. There is tutoring in every form available. And on top of that, the ILS, which is the inclusive learning services, also provides its services for you. And that is a body, is part of the administration, and they work closely with the students. They will have a one-on-one with you if needed. And if, for example, you have learning disabilities, for example, if you need additional assistance, like extensions, if you have ADHD, if you need more time, if you suffer from anxiety or anything like that, they will ensure that you are getting the best possible way so that you can do your best. For example, They have also partnered with the students for peer support volunteers, and the peer support volunteers undergo training from SCARF, which is a university in Chennai, which is a schizophrenia university in Chennai. And if you're not very comfortable talking to admin directly, you can talk to students, get more acclimatized. And also the fact that because the student body is so diverse, it's not very clicky in the sense you can talk to anybody, and seniors are also very approachable. Like I remember in my first trimester going up to seniors and being like, oh, can I do this like that? Does this work? What are you doing for your masters? Just like getting an idea. And you will find at least one person from your background. That I'm South Indian, I live in Kolkata. Although I'm South Indian, I have a lot of South Indian friends. I also have a lot of friends from Kolkata. It's not that the university tries its best to make sure you aren't alienated, to put it simply.
Okay, so definitely the university comes from a very, students come from a very diverse background, and the university has adapted its campus, its facilities, its environment like that. So every student, feels very approachable, feels very, appropriate for being able to study in that university. So I hope, it will, okay, so yeah, I hope, Jaya ma'am, it answered your question. Any other questions also that you have, parents, students, feel free to put in the chat box. And in the meanwhile, till the questions are coming in, I would also like to, address
Okay,
the last question.
Ishti, I will answer one question which
Sure.
I just saw, and I think I should answer that. There was a question related to the master's program. Someone wrote that I'm if I do a major in just let me find out something.
You might be talking
The
about, yeah,
the question was related to if I take physics and some other thing in physics and computers
computer.
in majors, what will be the my masters? See, the first thing is masters is again not based on what you do in undergrad. So whatever your undergrad degree is for masters, you can do anything. That's the eligibility. If you want to go into the eligibility section. Okay, so masters in public policy, masters in physics, masters in computer sciences, masters in data science, masters in information system, in the behavioral sciences, in the behavioral economics. There are a lot of names, and you can do any masters. You are not limited because of the undergrad program. That's very clear. So that's what I wanted to answer, and it's from Dr. Sapna Bhatt.
Okay, hope Sapna ma'am that answers your question. And I also did see one more query regarding they wanted to understand the procedure for part-time PhD. So if you could like take a minute or so to
So
share.
you have to. I have even shared the link on the chat box with the person. You have to just go and apply for the PhD program, and our Office of Research will contact you. As which is we call it an executive PhD program. You will have to go through the entrance exam and other processes, and after that, if you get selected, you will be getting the offer.
Sure. Thank you so much for answering that. And one last question I have, I am also curious, I would want you to answer. Any advice, it's for both of you, Mr. Arpit and Vahiruti, any advice that you would like to give to the prospective students who are right now, wanting to apply or are planning to apply? Any advice you would like to share with them or give them for their application process or anything?
So I would just say plan it early. Don't wait for the last time that okay, I'll apply in the May or June, because one more thing is Krea is the only university in India which starts very early. We start our classes in July. Other universities in India, they start mostly the classes by after 15th of August, and we start classes by 1st of August, or even end of July. So because we complete our admissions processes are completed by end of June. So you will not be able to hold ourselves for those students who wants to wait for, let's say, there are kids who say that okay, we will take that call after CUET exam. That's fine, you're open to do that, but if you want, just go through the process, reserve your seat, and later on you can take the decisions, because see, the fee which you pay for the acceptance or to block your seat, that is also refundable till a certain date of certain time. It's like the by the last date of admissions, but at least you complete that process. But if you come towards in the June or July, there are very rare chances you get a seat with us. Rest I would leave to Vyaruti, because she is the best person to give that advice.
Honestly, I'll just say don't reject yourself before the university rejects you. I feel like because that really hurts confidence. If you think there is something that you really enjoy, try to try to talk about it, because chances are when you talk about the things you're interested in is when your best self comes out. So if you've played guitar but you haven't learned it, if it's just something that you fiddle with on your own time, write that down, put like a video snippet. If you are really interested in videos, if you like editing, you can also submit as a personal story a video format. At least that was an option for me. I didn't do that though. I'm more comfortable with writing, but there is an option. Try to use all the resources available and just trust yourself. You've done 12 years of school, you'll be fine.
So thank you so much for this insight. So I think this is for every student right now wondering. So just don't wait and don't doubt and just apply.
So I
So
would also second with Vyaruti, because I have many times we get these kind of queries from these students and even parents, because everyone says that cracking Kriya's admissions is very tough. And I have seen that many students reject themselves before even applying. Just apply, go through the process. If you are not selected, it's not selected. That's fine for you. But without trying, you will do. That's bad.
right. That makes complete sense. So as long as we try and we apply, we get to know ourselves a bit better. So definitely, this webinar and talking to you, Mr. Arpit and Viruti, I learned a lot of new things about Krea, about the university, the admission process. And I myself had made pointers of a lot of, points so that I can also help other students. And I hope students and parents, you have also made point. And any other question, any queries we have, we'll be happy to address. So over to you, Tanishta.
Sorry, Ishti, I need to leave right now. So from our team, Suchita and Alka are here in the same session. And if there are any queries, they'll be able to answer. I'm really sorry, I will have to leave in between. So Alka, you can take over. Thank you so much, Ishti and Tanishta. Thanks,
Thank you so much,
the
sir.
audience
Thank
here.
you so
Yeah,
much.
bye-bye.
Right. So thank you so much for all the participants for joining this session on time and staying with us for this entire 1 hour session. And definitely the entire session was so informative and it was so interactive as well. And we have one more question in the chat box, if we can take that as well. Or Ishti ma'am, if you can see, you can answer the question.
I
Right.
don't see any
In
questions.
the chat box. So thank you so much, Viruti, for all your insight. It was such an interesting and such an insightful session altogether. All your insights, all your experiences. It was such an amazing thing to, understand, have that insider's view of that what exactly happens in a particular university, specifically Krea, because the colleges that we have been to, the bachelors that we have done, the masters we have done, is very different from what you are into. So, in the entire session, I found myself as well interested in the curriculum, and I was just thinking that what if I could have also done, or I could have also been in such kind of curriculum. But definitely, I understand that it is so interesting, and it was definitely a very insightful session for the parents, for the teachers, and students as well, because we as career coaches also got to know that okay, this is something that exactly happens in a college, and coming from a student who's already studying there, it also gives more weightage to whatever you're saying and also your experiences as well. So thank you so much for all your insights, all your inputs to this session. And thank you so much, Ishti ma'am, for this interactive session as well. All the questions were so much interactive. Thank you so much for that. And if we have any questions, we can definitely answer those as well. And students, parents, teachers, if you have any doubt, any further questions, you can definitely reach out to us at hello@mindler.com. And if you need any additional application support, we have also shared the form which you can fill, and the team will reach out to you. And anything from your side, Alka ma'am and Suchita ma'am, that you want to add it before we end the session?
It is just that, students can start filling it, as very rightly said by Arpit sir. Let's not wait for the last moment, because the intake is pretty limited and we have a lot of students who are applying. And seeing our round one, wherein we have had an overwhelming response of applicants, and, we have to reconsider people for merit scholarships now. It's the right time for students to apply, and yes, they'll be relieved of grade 12 board, the pressure that these students usually carry. So, first two rounds, our second round all the assessments would get over by February, and then they can focus on their 12th board. So these are the right times for them to apply. So wishing everybody all the very best. We have already included all the links that are there. You can reach out to us. And in case there are queries, do write to us. We'll be more than happy to address that. And wishing everyone all the very best today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, Suchita, ma'am, Rohiti, and Ishti as well. And that's all from our side. Thank you so much to all the participants for joining in. And that was all from our side. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.